What's up, fine folks? Welcome back to episode 15 of Double Tap.
1-5.
I'm Jay.
I'm Tanner.
Tanner.
Yeah.
We're breaking the rules in a different way today.
That's true.
These are technically brews.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
I originally was going to get coffee myself, but I went with tea, but both are brewed.
Yeah, well, you picked us up some coffee/tea on the way in.
I did. You had some antics last night, and I didn't know how you would feel today. So.
Yeah, I mean, I probably, I don't feel bad today at all. I probably could have gone with beer again, but it's just it doesn't sound great.
Yeah.
It's one of those days.
It's a Sunday afternoon. Can't buy beer around us anyway
that's
in certain
true,
parts of the world, so I was like...
We have stragglers, but it didn't feel right.
Yeah, you know. Nothing special about the beer. We're just going to get some special tea and coffee. And
this coffee's great,
and this tea's slapping.
Shout out to Dunkin' Donuts.
So,
we were thinking Dunkin'.
Oh, yeah. What have you been playing this past week?
Nothing really remarkable. I've been more Wreckfest. I have almost completed the career of my driver who is unnamed. Would be named Cash Bangs, obviously. Outside of that, I played a little bit more Planet Coaster. I really haven't picked up anything new yet, so I'm just kind of...
You're floating.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just kind of in games limbo. What about you?
So I played more Slay the Spire.
Of course.
And I've come to an interesting conclusion.
Okay.
So I still haven't beaten the heart, like the final boss.
Sure.
Whatever.
The one where you need to get the keys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've reached the heart a couple times in the last few days. Mm-hmm. Once with Ironclad, once with the Silent.
Okay.
The odd thing is that as much trouble as I was initially beating the game with the Silent, I'm pretty sure the Silent is going to be the easiest one to beat the final boss with.
Yeah, that's why I was so surprised when you were like, the Silent's so hard. I was like, really? It's
probably because I was not relying at all on Poison when I was early playing with her, and now I'm like, Poison is the only feasible way to output enough damage.
Yeah.
Mainly because there's the Catalyst card that either doubles or triples the poison if you've upgraded it.
Yeah.
And I had 2 triple catalysts in my deck in the last run. So one of the last enemies that I was fighting before I got to the 3rd level boss, I had 476 poison on them.
Jesus.
So if I could have done that,
to the heart, you win.
That's probably 2 turns pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though I learned you can only do 300 damage a turn to the heart.
Huh.
Which is an interesting wrinkle.
That is an interesting wrinkle.
But still, then that's 3 turns. So yeah, I'm gonna have to make some more silent runs and just fully prioritize poison and then get lucky with the catalyst cards. But I'm gonna bend the rules a little bit here as well.
Okay.
Because this is not necessarily something I've been playing.
All right.
But it's a lead up to something that we were both gonna play.
Okay.
And I've been digging deep into my early, research and participation, which is fantasy football, which is kind of a video game. It kind of is.
Sure.
There's a lot of video gaminess to it.
In a way, yeah, for sure. There's it's reminiscent of online games in some ways.
I've already done, I think, 3 or 4 mock drafts.
Jesus, okay.
And initially I had sort of mustered this list of I've got players to target, players to avoid.
Sure.
But I've reconfigured my approach to our draft, which is a month and a half from now.
Yeah, it's literally 6 weeks away.
I'm going to do a bunch more mock drafts.
Yeah, I'm going to start probably in a couple weeks of really dialing in.
So what I've done is, for all you football heads out there, I'm hoping there's a lot of you, but you never know. I've I'm just going to look at it here. I've got 5 different ways that I'm going to approach my first 2 draft picks.
Okay.
I'm either going to go running back, tight end.
Yeah.
Running back. Yeah. Running back, wide receiver.
Yeah.
Wide receiver, tight end.
Yeah.
Or wide receiver. There's no chance you're going tight end.
No. I feel like those are the normal configurations for the first 2 picks.
And I have the 6th pick in our 10-man league that's coming up.
I have the 4th pick.
And what I've been doing is all my mocks I make sure I get the 6th pick. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to do each of these strategies and then just look at my roster at the end.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
And I'm going to give myself either a plus or a minus. Of do I like what I came out with? Do I not? And then whichever of these 5 strategies is the highest plus to minus ratio is how I'm going to approach the draft.
You're going full analytics. I love it. I thought about, because normally, okay, so if you don't know what fantasy football is, if you don't care about sports at all, I understand. Yeah. But we both love sports.
And this is a very interesting meta game.
Yes. So fantasy football is basically you create a roster out of every active NFL player on offense, and then, certain positions on offense, and then we play as defense as basically one player.
Yeah.
And your goal is to score the most points and beat whoever you're facing. you score points based on the performance of the players you have on your active roster and basically who you have playing. So every week when you draft, that's sort of the biggest building block of what your team is. You can still trade with players. You can pick up players off free agency, but it is based on real life performance, but it is sort of a meta video game kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you can get as in depth with it as possible. Some people just pull up like, all right, who does Matthew Berry say are the top 200 players?
Whoever the big analyst
is. Who does Field Yates say, whatever. And then they just kind of go by the list. Other people have other strategies. Jay likes to come up with a list of people not to draft because
I have specific players that I want to avoid, even though they're highly touted for different reasons.
Yeah,
like one reason or another.
I don't know if this is the year I'm going to get the most analytical with it. Normally I have that list, but it's more in my head. It's not like do not draft. It's just like I don't really like this guy. I'm going to go 2 spots lower than what's recommended. But pick a guy I really like.
And it helps that we've sort of reassembled what I consider the core of our old fantasy football crew.
Yeah.
Like I really like the group that we're going to be doing it with this year.
Yeah, so we started I started playing in probably in high school, like 2010, 2011-ish.
It would have been at least probably 2 years after you had started that I joined in.
Yeah, and then Jay joined our group not too long after, and that was like with a few of my friends, my dad, a few of his friends, like just kind of a conglomerate. And then it became basically that group, but more my friends. And then it switched to our other friend group and some of their friends. And now
a couple of those have gotten cut.
And we've brought our friend group back in. So it's like both friend groups have come to create our fantasy league. And this is probably, I think, the best overall league we're going to play in.
Probably so.
And what you're probably wondering if you don't know anything about fantasy football, well, what makes a good league? Isn't everybody just playing their teams?
Good point.
What makes a good league? People who keep up with it, mainly. There are some people who say they want to do it and then set their roster at the beginning of the year and don't set it every week, or just set their roster and aren't open to trades, don't pick anybody up, don't release anybody. Just I drafted my guys and that's it. What you want are people who are willing to trade and bullshit.
Just be interactive.
Yeah, because the fun of the game is the meta game, which is just I want to try to get the best players. I want to do this trade. I really like this guy that Jay has. He really likes this guy I have. Let's trade. Like that. Even the discussions of that are the fun of fantasy.
Absolutely. I can't wait.
Like we play for money, but it's not a sum of money that's dangerous.
No, it's just to make it fun and to incentivize more participation.
Yes. Like we put in like $25 a piece. It's not bad. And it is so worth the price of admission just to play all year.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you get money back later, great. But
gives you a reason to watch as many football games as you can and feel
that's
invested.
True. Yep.
Which that to me is like the ultimate like price of admission for anything.
Yeah,
like,
you have stakes.
If you put in if I was like $10 I could get $20 on any sporting event, suddenly I'm interested.
Yeah.
Even in, I don't know what the heck's going on right now. The Euro soccer tournament. I didn't watch any of that, but if I would have won $10 when England lost, I would have been excited.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically gambling, but without losing your money.
Yeah, and a little more skill based.
Right.
It's not FanDuel. It's not DraftKings. Even though one of these days might have to dabble in that a little bit
if it ever becomes legal here.
Yeah.
Anyway, fantasy football
and news.
Yay!
News story number 1: Cyberpunk 2077 is back on the PlayStation Store and is back on the top of their sales charts, really, which is kind of surprising to me that it sprung back up there so quickly, considering that from all that I've heard, still's not running super great on the old gen.
Yeah, the last thing I heard about Cyberpunk is whenever they patched it last, there were still, quote, thousands of bugs to be fixed. Thousands.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a few of my friends who are like game devs, and they were talking about like they don't know if they could screw up every piece of code and create thousands of bugs in their own game. Like that scale is incredible. Sure. And so Cyberpunk I feel like is one of those games that if I ever play it, I'm going to pick it up 4 years from now when it's $10 and it's the PS5 super patched version, and I'm really itching for. I know people get upset if you compare it to GTA, but I'm itching for sort of that open world RPG experience.
Why do they get upset?
Because people view GTA as more sandbox, and this is more like a hardcore RPG. Yeah.
Well, I think that was. You think that was maybe the interpretation going in, and then people were let down.
Possibly.
That seemed to be what I got from it, was that a lot of people were expecting this ridiculously immersive RPG, but then it's just like these 3 factions you choose, and the stories are not exceptionally different from one another. It's just little things. Like, I definitely think people were let down in that regard too.
People wanted The Witcher but futuristic, which I understand. You and I are both probably lower on The Witcher than most people. But some of the stories in The Witcher were really cool. It's like I was optimistic for Cyberpunk simply because I liked their storytelling ability, even if I didn't really care about the setting or, oh no, this dragon attacked us. Like that kind of fantasy stuff loses me pretty easily. Whereas, you know, if it's futuristic, it's more just people related, then I'm more interested. But
I don't know. I went from being nearly in when it first launched, and like was reviewing pretty well on a lot of platforms, at least if you
on PC especially.
Yeah, and they were saying that it is, you know, passable on next gen consoles. Yeah, even though you're still playing technically the other old console versions.
Yeah, have they just canned the...
I don't think they've canned it, but it's been delayed, and I don't even know at this point when like the PS5 version is set to come out.
I assume they'll have to patch everything first, and then the PS5 version
it'll be
come out.
Very interesting to see how that runs when it comes out.
Yes.
If, you know, and how long that'll be.
And how it sells.
Exactly. At that point, that's the only next logical entry point for me. But if it's $60 at that point, or $70, I'm not going to pay $70 for it.
No, me neither. No.
It is tainted permanently in my head. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if they can turn that perception around for anybody. Yeah. Next story. The Steam Deck.
Yeah, baby.
Has been announced with 3 SKUs. Yes. $399 with 64 gigabytes of storage.
But non-NVMe storage. That's what I was going to say. So that's more like onboard storage. Right.
$529 with 256 gigabytes and the NVMe SSD.
Right, which in layman's term means fast storage.
Yeah. And $649 for 512 gigabytes and the NVMe SSD. Tanner. Yeah. This is very intriguing to me.
Yes, it is.
Very. Especially as someone who does not have a PC.
Right.
And would like access to certain games that I can't play readily on my console. Yep. And just, you know, at this moment looks like it would just curb stomp my Switch into the ground without a second thought.
Yeah. So I have a lot of thoughts about this. This might be the largest chunk of the podcast.
This was sort of I started to just make this the big topic and just us discuss this.
I like your big topic though. It's fun.
We got other fun stuff to do.
So as you walked in, officially reserved my Steam Deck.
Which one?
The second SKU, the 529 one. I think that's the best bang for your buck.
I think so.
Simply because, so the 64 gig, the $400 one, that one's still going to be great because if you don't know, one of the features of the Steam Deck is it has micro SD expandable storage, much like the Switch. The Switch also has this. So those SD cards can range in price. The bigger they get, the exponentially more expensive they get. You can get like a 32 gig micro SD card for like $8, but like once you get to larger, obviously however large you get, the more expensive it gets. So you would actually save money going from 64 to 256 with this SKU as opposed to buy that difference in micro SD, I believe.
Is this sort of like the situation we're still in right now with the PS5 where you're managing your SSD storage, but you can add external storage for a bit of a drop off in speed, but it's still convenient?
Yes. Okay. I imagine, well, this also has a USB-C port, and Valve has said all the right things to me. Yeah. One of them being you can totally just add a USB-C dock and give you USB out, give you power, whatever. They have their own dock that's coming, but you could also just get a dongle. One of the best words ever.
Yeah, that's my thoughts exactly.
So my thought being there, you could totally just plug in external storage if you want. I love how much you love the word dongle.
Yeah, because
it's a great word.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, so there will be multitudes of ways to get more storage if you need it. The 512, obviously, if you can afford it, go for it. That's a little... Granted, all you have to do right now is just reserve it for $5, and I assume that $5 will be taken out when you buy it. Yeah. And mine's not going to be ready till Q2 of next year, so that's why I reserved it. Because
I saw that they were like staggered in the way they were coming
so
out.
The longer you've waited to reserve it, the longer it'll be till you get one. Which is fine. So that's why I kind of jumped on it right now. But there's so much potential with this. It is a PC. It's basically somewhere between a Switch and like a Microsoft Surface type tablet where, although it'll be running Linux, not Windows, but
Although you can install Windows, at least that's what I heard.
Have they confirmed that yet?
I saw some. I don't remember. It was one of the articles that I was reading, sort of in the wake of this announcement, basically saying, "Hey, you can install Windows, which means you can then install Xbox Game Pass and that sort of stuff."
Which means you can install anything,
which is ridiculous.
And even on Linux, you can install pretty much anything. Linux has come a long way from back when I first heard of it, but yeah, the potential of this is just so exciting. It is a pocket PC that controls like a Switch. You could obviously hook up a controller to it through Bluetooth. They already one of the things I really like about the Steam Deck rollout is they answer a lot of the questions you might have just on their website. They're not shrouded in mystery. It's like, yes, you can do this. It's very open. It's not like they haven't put any sort of lock where you can't install other programs on it. The itch.io, which is a separate gaming database that's more like really indie based, like people that maybe have smaller games or can't get them on Steam or whatever. He already confirmed that you can install it on the Steam Deck because it's Linux, and he knows, like, he developed the itch.io platform on Linux, and it's so exciting. I'm so pumped.
Yeah, it's weird. This is the possibility of being able to get the Xbox Game Pass on this.
Yes,
has sort of completely derailed my potential plans for getting an Xbox.
Yeah,
because if I could get the mid-level SKU of this, get Game Pass, get access to all the Steam games that I see the summer sale happen every year, and I just never been able to participate. But I want there's all these dirt cheap games that I've never gotten to play, and would probably run better on this than heck. I was going to ask you this, and I need to know if you were not as, and I know a little bit about the tech side of a lot of these things. I know what RAM is. I know what the storage means. I know how an SSD is faster, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But if you had to just say, this thing is about as powerful as blank in terms of like a box, what box would it be comparable to? Is it somewhere between like a PS4 and a PS5?
Yeah, maybe. I think maybe like PS4 Pro territory.
I know it has 16 gigs of RAM.
Yes. Which is pretty standard for laptops, but for consoles is pretty good.
Yeah.
And the real question mark, at least for me, is that it's off a custom chip. And so there's not a CPU I can directly compare it to because they've made a CPU just for this with AMD.
Yeah.
But they have already touted that you can run certain PC games that you would at least need a PS4 to run.
Right.
And yeah, all the specs look good. I haven't dove super deep into the specs or what people are comparing it to. Honestly, I'm sort of waiting for, and I think I mentioned to you, I'm waiting for the influencer group, like the tech influencers, to get it, and really see what it can do. One of the most exciting things for me is the emulation possibilities.
Yeah,
the fact that you could install something like Launchbox or something like that on it and be able to suddenly just play every ROM on a trip, and instead of playing the SNES throwbacks on the Switch, you could play a GameCube game, or you could play PS2 games.
Silly.
I could boot up Tony Hawk's Underground 2 and just have it portably. It's sort of what everyone wants a tablet to be for gaming.
Yeah.
But in an actual gaming package. And the investment makes a lot of sense for me too, because my Steam library is already pretty large after having a Steam account for 10 plus years now. So it makes all the sense in the world to me.
I can already picture, assuming that I get one at some point, I can already picture that first night when I'm like, I bring it here and I'm like, hey, get me all of these old games, and we just have a night of just like, putting all the puzzle pieces together and like blah blah blah, and then I'm playing Tony Hawk's Underground 2, on this. Just, oh god, I'm very excited about the possibilities here, and I'm just like, is this a Switch killer? That's what everybody, that's the hot topic.
People like saying that. I don't know. I think most people, if you're looking to buy a Switch and you see this, like if you don't already own a Switch, I think you go to this. If the main reason you want a Switch is portable gaming,
right,
you go to this. If the main reason you want to Switch is Nintendo IP, well then obviously you're going to go with the Switch. But I think, I think we both talked about recently how my Switch isn't collecting dust, but I haven't had a reason to play it in months now.
Yeah.
And I was excited for Mario Golf, but then the reviews weren't great, so I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I was very disappointed with the rollout of that, because I was very excited, and then it seemed to just be, less built out, like limited number of characters, limited number of courses. The graphics weren't great.
Yeah.
I'm like, Everybody's Golf is apparently better than this, and I love Everybody's Golf. So
yeah. The Switch will maintain being my Mario Party and Mario Kart and that kind of, party console. But as far as taking something home when I go see my mom or whatever, I definitely want this more than a Switch.
Could you, in theory, well, obviously there's I'm sure a plethora of party games on the likes of Steam. Obviously, I've not dug deep.
Sure. Shout out to Pummel Party.
Let's say hypothetically, what's the most modern version of Mario Party that you could somehow play on the Steam Deck?
Are we talking from Steam or are we talking emulation?
I guess emulation. In whatever form.
You can emulate, I've never tried it, but you can emulate the Wii U.
Interesting.
So you could do now the Wii gets tricky because of motion controls and
Sure.
needing a Wiimote. But any of the GameCube ones you could easily emulate. Yeah. And then obviously there's Pummel Party. There's a lot of party games on Steam, like you said. So depending on where you lay there, but if you want to play the classic Mario parties, it would be so easy.
Yeah, I'm trying to dismantle all the arguments that would lead you to buy a Switch instead of this. Because I mean, if I'm a person who already has a Switch, obviously there's no reason that I would ever upgrade to the OLED version of the Switch instead of getting this.
Yeah, that was
that
so
would just be
underwhelming.
asinine.
Yes.
I'm trying to think from the perspective our friend Skinny, who has neither.
Right.
From his perspective, he might just be in there to play. He doesn't. Although he's talked he's not a big Mario guy, not his type of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas the possibilities of something like the Steam Deck to him probably vastly outweigh the potential of a Switch. So I don't know. I'm very jazzed about this.
Me too. I'm
possibility.
Very optimistic on it. It's interesting to me too. If we're just talk a little bit about the history of this. So Valve has messed with hardware a few times. They came out with something called the Steam Link, which I have one because they sold them when they didn't sell well for $5. And basically it is a if you have a computer that runs Steam on your local network, you can just stream it through the internet to this box.
Sure.
And it works fine. I've actually used it a couple times. But they've done that, and then they also did, I think it was called the Steam Box. I'm pretty sure this was a thing, and it was ridiculous because it had 15 different SKUs, and there were several partners that could license their computers as Steam boxes.
Yeah, I remember getting low-key excited about the Steam box just because I've been on the periphery of PC gaming now since I've been friends with you, pretty much. Of will I ever pull the trigger? I'm not nearly to the level of excitement that I'm going to build my own right now. I'm not there yet, but I would either buy a pre-built or something like this.
I mean, you can get great pre-builts.
I know,
now.
and you can upgrade pre-builts, right?
Yeah.
So that'd be where, if I was going to jump in, maybe I'll get myself a birthday present one of these days. But at this point, it was the Steam box, but obviously that fizzled out. Yeah. And now it's the Steam Deck.
Yes, and I think this has most potential by far.
Yeah. Because
a lot of people, when the Steam box came out, it was just it was cheaper just to buy a pre-built or build a PC of the same spec. So it was why would you ever do that? But yeah, I'm excited to see what the dock can do. It has a lot of the stuff you want. It has onboard Bluetooth, so you could hook up an Xbox One controller. You could hook up your headphones. All the specs are really cool if you go diving into it, and I'm really pumped for it.
It's kind of like the iPhone versus Android of handheld consoles. Whereas iPhone and Apple are very structured and sort of rigid in what they allow you to do, but very clean, and they do what they do well.
Yeah.
Whereas Android, I'm it can get buggy, it can get weird, but you can do anything pretty much.
But the potential is much higher, yeah.
So obviously there's just, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to just jump in and reserve one. We'll see. Then our final news story.
Okay.
And the biggest news story by far.
Uh-oh.
Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl has been announced.
Yeah.
The Smash clone has 10 confirmed characters, will cost $50, and is due out this fall.
Only 10?
10 confirmed right now.
Okay, so they're going to unveil more.
You assume.
Who are the 10 confirmed? I've seen the trailer, but I don't remember the 10.
Let me look it up. Some of them I had not heard of.
This looks, which I know Nickelodeon has done video games in the past, and I know they've done I think it was Nickelodeon Brawl for All or something like that.
That rings a bell.
That was a game. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was definitely a game. These are games I just see on the PlayStation Store sometimes. But Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network have both done sort of kart games before. I know there's a Cartoon Network game called Battle Crashers that people like. So this is not outside the full realm of possibility, but it's just so funny to people be like, oh my god, Nickelodeon Smash, let's go.
All right, here are the characters confirmed so far.
Yeah.
Oblina from Real Monsters.
Oh shit, okay.
I don't even know what that is.
Which one is Oblina? I haven't watched All Real Monsters in 15 years.
My personal favorite selection, Danny Phantom.
Sure.
From Danny Phantom.
Sure.
Helga Pataki from Hey Arnold.
Yeah.
Zim from Invader Zim.
Okay.
Reptar from Rugrats.
Interesting pick.
SpongeBob SquarePants from SpongeBob SquarePants.
Sure.
Patrick Star from
Sure.
SpongeBob SquarePants. And Sandy Cheeks from SpongeBob
Oh wow,
SquarePants.
SpongeBob showing out.
Makes sense. I'm not surprised at all.
Their biggest property.
Leonardo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Right, because they have TMNT now.
And Michelangelo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
You assume the rest of them are going to be in it.
I hope they have different movesets.
Yes.
I hope you're throwing pizza at people's faces.
Also,
with
this is Oblina.
What in God's name is that?
It's the creepy lady monster from All Real Monsters. I think she was the villain. No, she was part of the crew. Did you never watch All Real Monsters?
I've seen this.
It's
probably never watched it because that looks like something straight out of a kid's nightmares.
Yeah, but you liked
what?
Not Curious George.
Tell me what I like.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Well, I didn't like the villains.
Yeah,
they were
but
scary.
it was that kind
These
of
are
vibe.
protagonists.
Yeah, that's fair.
Fair enough, though.
The one guy could throw his eyes.
Point taken.
Oh
yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, he like juggled his eyes.
Where did I leave off? Lincoln Loud from The Loud House. I think this is a new thing.
It has to be. I've never heard of this.
Also, Lucy Loud from The Loud House.
Of course, the homies.
Powdered Toast Man.
Oh shit!
From Ren and Stimpy.
Nice.
And Nigel Thornberry from The Wild Thornberry. Smashing.
He has to say smashing like 15 times in that game.
He better smash them with a hammer and then say his smashing.
His final smash, yeah.
Oh, that's too good.
This is fun. I'm not gonna buy it, but
no.
It'll be like if it. The only way they could get me to buy it is if the roster just grows and grows.
Yeah.
Like if it's 25 Nickelodeon characters, I might be in.
Like throw in Timmy Turner, throw in Jimmy Neutron,
there's
throw in
so
blah,
many
blah,
you
blah.
could
There's
pull,
so many. Yeah, I just thought this was funny, and I was excited about the prospect of being able to play as Danny Phantom in a video game because I love Danny Phantom to the ends of the earth.
Yeah.
And it inspired me in another way.
Yes.
Which pivots to our big topic. Tanner?
Yeah.
I told you to brainstorm and prepare.
You did?
For what we're going to do. And I was also inspired by fantasy football because we're actually going to snake draft this with two people.
Oh. How is that going to work?
It's going to go whoever goes first with one pick.
Okay.
And then we alternate two back and forth until the person who picked first also picks last with one pick.
But we're just picking from the pool of all characters?
Yes. But this is sort of going to be, and I don't know what mentality you approach the question with.
Uh-huh.
Because if your idea is I'm going to try to make the roster that's going to sell the most copies, that's fine. If you're going to make the roster that you just think is the coolest and would be most interesting and fun gameplay, that's fine too. I just sort of approached it with characters that I think some of them are already in fighting games.
Okay, so I don't know if we've said, we're making a fighting game and we're choosing the roster.
Yeah, the rules are this, and this is how I narrowed it down. Smash is sort of, to me, the most comparable just because it's characters from different IP.
Sure.
So if you go back to the first Smash roster size was 12.
Okay.
So we were each going to pick 12.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
All right.
No more, no less.
So when you texted me, you just said, be thinking of characters you would want for a fighting game.
Yeah.
So I have constructed 3 different game rosters.
Okay.
With different themes.
Interesting.
So I don't know how I'm going to approach this.
Okay.
I may just go...
And I see that they're already pretty big. So even if you picked a theme, you'd probably be able to make it out with most of the characters you've got there. Because I just made a list of 16 characters that I think would be good. And I know we'll inevitably poach one or two.
Sure.
But I tried to pick some interesting ones.
All right.
I'm sure you did too, considering how many I saw were on your list. I didn't see anything specifically.
Yeah, it's too small a text to...
So, the question is, who wants to go first? And then the question will be, do we really put us on the clock, or do we just let us hash it out? I put 2 minutes, but I also just think it would be good because it's unexpected and we don't really know and how many potential characters we're picking from that we can just hash it out not on a clock.
So I think my idea with this, the way I'm going to approach this now is I'm just going to try to create the best amalgam roster of the, how many did you say, 12?
12.
But I will then tell you all my themes that I came up with.
Yeah, because if we did a Smash Ultimate size roster, we'd be here all day.
That's true.
I thought 12 was a good, reasonable back and forth amount, and we have precedent for it. In the Jay and Tanner official fighting games, it'll be like, I don't know. Have they ever released like rival fighting games from the same company? And then waited to put them together or something? That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be.
It's kind of like Marvel versus Capcom.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
All right, who wants to go first?
Do we rock paper scissors for it?
So the winner picks whether they want to go first.
Yes,
okay.
They pick where they go.
So like I said, the structure will be whoever goes first, you get one pick,
and then the next person gets two,
and then it just goes two back and forth until the last pick goes back to the first person.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
This is great for an audio medium.
We doing best 2 out of 3.
Sure.
Well, let's just actually say the stuff then.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
All right, we both went scissors. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. We both went scissors again. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right, paper over rock. I got the first one. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Scissors cuts paper. You win. Up. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Yeah! All right, rock, paper, scissors. That was electric. You pick first.
Okay. All right. Christian McCaffrey. Just kidding. That'd be awesome, though. That's who's going to go first in our fantasy draft.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I really have to think about this because the obvious choices here, and we can just discuss this.
Sure.
Your obvious choices, if you're going for like mass appeal, are Mario.
Are you pulling only from video games?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Interesting.
Okay.
Huh.
I guess I didn't consider the possibility of going outward from that.
I'm going to tell you right now.
No wonder your list is so big.
90% of mine are non-video games.
Interesting. Wow. Okay.
But I can pull it back into video games if we need to.
Yeah, I guess that's just where my head was at. I don't know.
Well, because it's Nickelodeon, so I thought, oh, well, it's from another property.
That's true, I guess. But yeah, I was just thinking of like the video game character draft for like a fighting game.
All right, we can do that.
Okay.
I can roll with that.
So, do I pick the obvious with Mario, or do I go with sort of a different theme? And I certainly was going with a different theme among the characters that I was sitting here brainstorming.
Okay.
And the character that I think right now has so much cachet that would bode so well in a fighting game, and honestly can't remember. I think he probably was already in one.
Okay.
But it was a game that you played that I did not.
Okay.
Or at least not extensively. But do I do it? This is sort of how the drafts of fantasy football go. So it's like, do I do it? Or
yeah,
do
this
I do
is a good insight, actually.
Because there is also one that I'm not going to say because I don't think you would poach it, but I want it really badly. But if I pick this pick with my first pick, there's a correlation between those two that would make me look like they're just too related in a certain way.
Okay.
But you know what? I'm going to go with my second option.
All right.
Spider-Man.
Oh,
it's going to be my number one pick
in the fighting game draft.
Both cachet with both the MCU, with video games. I think this is a perfect hybrid, popular culture character. Spider-Man is my first selection.
Okay. So I am on the clock. Huh. Yeah, so this is interesting. A lot of mine were from other pop culture, so I'm not even going to refer to my list anymore.
Okay. My list that I've got to refer to is not long and could, depending on what you pick now, I might be in trouble.
Yeah, so I get two consecutive picks, right? Okay. I'm just going to talk through my thought process.
Yes.
I'm kind of wondering, what is my goal here? Yours was to sell the most units.
Well, it's a hybrid between sell units and pick good characters that would meld well and play fun in a fighting game.
That's I think I'm going to lean toward that aspect of who do I want to play as in a fighting game. So my number one pick is Kratos.
See, that was going to be my number one. I was between Kratos and Spider-Man. Was Kratos in PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale?
Yes, he was. But it was the old version of Kratos.
That's what I thought, too.
It's going to play completely differently now.
Yeah, with the Leviathan axe. Yeah, that's just
I just feel like that would be so fun in a fighting game.
It's a rock solid choice.
Throw things around.
Well, I can mark Kratos off my list here.
My second pick. God, it's so hard to narrow. It's hard to think about video game characters not in their video game, but how they would play in a fighting game.
Sure.
That's a very interesting challenge. I'm just running through properties in my head. And I keep going back to one, but I don't know if they would be fun in a fighting game.
Okay.
That's the problem, right?
I've got one that I think is a slam dunk, but because it's interesting. Not because it's obvious.
Yeah. It would be fun in a fighting game. There's some that I've thought of that you aren't going to pick that I'll pick later.
I've got one of those too that I doubt you thought of, but you would be one of the people most likely to think of it, even though I don't think you did.
Okay. I think...
I love how we're talking completely in circles. This is fun.
Well, we don't want to reveal what we're thinking, because that's the whole fun of the episode. I think my second pick is Master Chief.
It's a good pick.
Just because I'm going to limit myself to one person with guns, because I think...
I was kind of thinking about that too.
I think fighting games can get too... For example, Smash is too swordy.
Absolutely.
There are too many characters just with swords, and so I don't want... I think one of the reasons that Snake stands out in Smash is because he's one of the very few characters with guns. And I don't want... I feel like PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale had like 3 or 4 people that had a gun. And so I remember it being like, those are... I think one character like that's okay, but if you have too many of them, it starts to ruin it. So.
Yeah. And at the risk of looking like a just PlayStation versus Xbox fighting game, I can already picture the cover of yours where like half the roster is on either side, like looking at each other and like the face off.
Big versions.
It's Kratos and Master Chief.
Yeah, just looking at each other.
That would look sick. Okay.
This is fun.
I'm going to go ahead and go with the one that I was just referencing. Since I worry that you might think of it eventually.
Okay.
And I think that it's just a good choice and it's going to be my person with guns.
Okay.
And that's going to be Agent 47.
Oh, that's a good call. That's a really good call.
I think
that's really smart.
Uniqueness of, there's a lot of fun gimmicky things you can do with 47. You can do classic gunplay type stuff. But just the look of 47 on like a character selection screen is just really awesome to me. The idea of a fighting game with him.
All the different outfits you could wear.
100%. It's 47. Lock it in. And then, let's think again. So now I got Spider-Man and Agent 47.
This is really fun.
See, now I'm feeling bad because I wanted Master Chief to give the illusion of
impartiality,
bipartisanship.
That's kind of why I picked him too.
Because now I'm trying to think, if I go Sony too many times, I don't want to go Sony too many times.
Sure.
But I'm gonna go. This is more out of left field.
All right.
And just fun and would be really stupid.
Okay.
And me. It's me we're talking about here. I'm going Tony Hawk.
Damn it! I was thinking about taking him because the skateboard possibilities are really fun.
Absolutely.
You grind on an enemy.
Tony Hawk.
That's so funny you went there because I was gonna do it, and I thought you might think of it, so I didn't want to wait on it.
Yeah. Just the idea of just beating someone with a skateboard and just doing like a kick flip as like some sort of projectile, like that's super fun. Spider-Man, 47, and Tony Hawk is where I'm at so far.
Solid roster.
It's
so
weird,
far.
but I like it.
See, now I really got to think about. What do I want to prioritize? And I kind of want to go, have I ruined myself with the guns thing?
It's 12. You could do
2 shooty characters.
Sure.
Yeah, if they're different enough. But I don't want to do it just yet. So I'm going to go... Shovel Knight next. Because I've always wanted to see Shovel Knight in a fighting game. I think Shovel Knight makes so much sense for Smash.
He does.
But just, I can already picture his moveset. Like, it would basically play like the game normally because it's a side-scrolling action game. But just all the different gadgets you could throw out and all of the just toolkit that Shovel Knight has.
Would it be 2D or like a 3D rendering of him?
I'm kind of thinking like the Amiibo version, which is a 3D rendering.
Yeah.
That's probably gonna look better than
it wouldn't
just
be like Game & Watch
sprites. Yeah. The way they did Mega Man and Smash
right.
would be that kind of thing. I just love Shovel Knight. And then my next pick. I think, not to be too me, but this is my game. I think I'm going to go Juan from Guacamelee.
Ooh.
Because his moveset, again, makes perfect sense for a fighting game. It literally, his game is basically a fighting game already. And all the wrestling moves you could do.
Yeah, that's another one that...
The uppercuts, the smashes you could do would be really fun.
The gameplay would translate very well.
Yes.
And yours is sort of... So you've got Kratos, Shovel Knight, and Juan.
And Master Chief.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad. You're rocking with... You got a good... Yours is more classically video game in its roster construction so far.
I'm trying to think outside the box.
Mine's sort of spreading the limits a little bit.
Yeah.
But just... Oh,
that's
I'm going to sidebar that one for a minute.
I love that this podcast is just a lot of,
The one I'm going to go with, and this is going to be my first attempt to not be a Sony homeboy.
Sony pony.
But it's not going to be Xbox.
Okay.
It's going to be Nintendo. But it's not going to be Mario. It's going to be Link.
I'm going to go with Link. I thought about Link. I saw him up there on the shelf.
Link's a very obvious, logical choice. One of the most popular characters in Smash, as evidenced by the fact that there's been like 4 different versions of him over the years.
Which version do you want? Do you want modern Breath of the Wild Link?
No, I think I want like Twilight Princessy, like the one that was in like Melee.
Sure.
Dark green, long hat.
Yeah. The more emo looking of the Links.
Exactly. Yeah. Of course. It's me we're talking about. Look at my shirt.
Look at my shirt. Feast your eyes upon me.
Yeah, just sink into the void that is my shirt. So I'm going to mark Link off here. Link's going to get me some, appeal with the Nintendo folks out there. And now I get another pick. And I can divert from where I was going to go with that pick for a while. And I'm not going to... If you poach the one that I've got on here last, I'm going to be so mad. But I don't think you're gonna.
Okay.
So I'm going to hold off.
All right.
And just to keep with the, big names, this is only my 5th pick. I got a lot of time to dig deep into the well.
Yeah.
I need to get my heavy hitters out of the way here.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Lara Croft.
Damn it! That was the reason I said I don't want to go guns back to back.
Well, you don't have to go guns with her.
Sure, she's like knives.
Ice picks and ropes and whatnot.
Yeah,
I think Lara Croft slam dunk should be... Has she ever been in a fighting game?
Oh, that's a good question.
It wouldn't surprise me if she has been.
I don't think... Not a major one, I don't think.
And not,
she wasn't in PlayStation All-Stars, was she?
I don't think so, but I didn't play that game very much.
I did, and I don't remember her being, but she might be.
Because, I'm trying to think. I don't think her modern iteration in, the most recent trilogy... There's been 3 of those games, right?
Yeah.
Just 3? Yeah.
Yes.
You could have told me there was 4, though, and I'd have believed you. So, yeah. I like her. And I want her in the... I want a Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I want her with, the puffy jacket.
Nice.
Or at least that's an alternate skin.
Yeah, her normal look is okay, but all her accessory looks are great.
And the tank top is, the most iconic look.
Sure.
But I like the way she looks in Rise more so. Even though that game was very strange.
Was it? I've only played the first one.
Talking about the... I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast with you, though, but, the facsimile of Christianity that is in the mythos of that game is very bizarre. I'm because it is so direct.
Oh, gotcha.
You could have at least taken some creative liberties.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Did you play Far Cry 5?
No. Well, a little bit.
Yeah. What did you think of that version of Christianity?
Well, that's just that reminds me of any warped cult leader, which I like.
I did too. I thought that was really fascinating.
I didn't play a ton of it. So Spider-Man, 47, Tony Hawk, Link, and Lara Croft is where I'm sitting.
My next pick, I just stumbled upon this in my head. And I'm very glad I did.
Okay.
I'm taking Chell from Portal.
I was thinking about a Portal character that would be... It's a great,
just the moveset would be
character
so
with
interesting.
its own unique shtick.
You can pull in a companion cube and it hits somebody from above. There's just hearing GLaDOS. I thought about doing GLaDOS, but that doesn't really make sense in the way the fighting game would look. Chell makes the most sense, and she kind of has an iconic look too. But I like the possibilities of what portals could pull in. You could pull in items from other people. You could do a lot of really creative stuff there. So I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
My next pick. This is where it gets interesting. All right, so she was on one of my rosters. I'm taking Ellie.
Yeah.
I feel like because you need sort of that grounded character amongst all the chaos, because then it just makes her funny too. And with her like expanded moveset from the second game specifically, I think she would be a really cool character. So right now I'm Kratos, Master Chief, Shovel Knight, Juan from Guacamelee, Shell, and Ellie is my grouping.
Okay. I'm gonna limit myself to one more Sony Pony character.
All right.
But I know which one I want.
Okay.
And I already know what I'm gonna say. And like if the character has an entrance, which I imagine, you know how like they all have like their little quips when they come out to fight or whatever.
Yeah.
I would just be hyped out of my mind.
Okay.
Especially if it was like a reveal for like, you remember this? Shout out, throwback. Lights go down.
Yeah. Shout out.
And they come up to reveal the new character in this, in Jay's fighting game extravaganza. And all you hear is, tonight, Gammon joins the hunt. And it's Gammon.
That's a good call.
The first hunter from Bloodborne.
Yeah, I didn't even think of Bloodborne.
Big scythe.
Yeah.
Cool looking character. Like all of his special moves. Oh, love me some Gammon.
That's a good call.
So I'm gonna write him in here, and then I get one more. And now this time, okay? Let me mark him off of this. So how long can I hold off until? You know what? Screw it. I like this pick so much, and I just want to make sure you don't take it.
Okay.
I wanted a Game & Watch style character,
right?
Like
okay.
a character that's very out of place, just because it's so like 2D, but you can do so much quirky things with like a fighting character like that.
Sure.
And I was, reaching deep into my mind and thinking, what from any game could sort of emulate that experience?
Yep.
Vault Boy.
Oh, I like that pick a lot.
There's like so much you
really
can do
like that
with
a lot.
Vault Boy, and it's iconic.
It's really smart.
Visually interesting.
Fuck, I'm mad I didn't think about that. That was great.
Going with Vault Boy. Honestly thought it was Pip Boy, and then Googled it, and that's the thing.
Well, the Pip Boy is the device.
Yeah. And I was like, is that the Pip Boy? And I know Vault Boy is the character himself. So, Spider-Man, 47, Tony Hawk, Link, Lara Croft, Gammon, and Vault Boy.
Okay. My next one is one I don't think you're going to take, but I like it anyway. I'm going with Stretch from NBA Street.
Is he the dude with the afro?
He's the big fro guy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Just the amount of like a sort of mix of basketball and dancing, and he would be I just want to see his moveset, honestly.
Yeah, just like do the wave with your arms with the basketball, and then he flicks it off as like a projectile.
Yeah. And then I like any of the like fighting game characters that have like an announcer to go with them.
Oh, yeah.
And just having the basketball announcer in the game, it's boom shakalaka, and just it's a block party. That was my favorite one when you just block everybody.
Yeah.
All right, for my next one.
Let's see. Okay. Okay, I'm free to go somewhere with guns. I need to think about that. I need to do one more.
Somewhere with guns. It's the name of your game.
Exactly.
I'm trying to think of like more outside the box picks, because I have a lot of your like AAA characters right now. No, that doesn't work. We
can come back to that later. I'm curious.
That could be a stage, though. I could think of stages. That'd be fun. My thought, I'll just say it now. My thought was like, can you work Stanley Parable in somehow?
Oh, okay.
And like the narrator, and you just have to make choices, and if you don't, you get hit. But that could work really well as a stage. Gosh, it's so hard to like rack your brain of non-traditional things. I think I might go. I'm going to go with Sackboy. And not the way they did him in PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, which was just kind of normal. I want him to be more like the creator in Little Big Planet. So almost sort of a Game & Watch type thing.
Yeah.
But instead of pulling in like different movesets or whatever, you pull in different items, and you can just like do your little pip thing, and then, or whatever it's called, pop it. That's it. You can pull in your pop it and like slam a sticker on somebody's face or something like that. I wanted something cartoonier, and I feel like that scratches that itch.
Oh man.
So right now we're at 8, or I'm at 8, I think.
You're at 8. I'm at 7.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh boy. This is tough now.
Just thought of a really stupid one.
Man, I really. This is where I've exhausted my like picks that I really wanted.
Yeah.
So now I'm just in the mode of like, do I go with some of these other sort of backups that I had, or do I try to get creative? And I don't know if I can think on my feet enough. There was one that I just thought of that I'm like, maybe that's too me, but it's not.
Okay.
It's very mainstream, Jay. You should just do it.
All right.
Ooh, you should just do it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the Dragonborn.
Oh.
From Skyrim.
Okay. I was wondering if you could pull anybody from Skyrim.
Because I was thinking, I was like, well, he's just, sword and shield. But I was like, the shouts. The shouts are what makes that character interesting in a fighting game. You can do Fus Roda.
Of course, the classic.
Can't remember any others, but you can do Fus Roda.
That's the only one I remembered too, and I was going to be like, he'll probably know more than I do.
If I really rack my brain, I could probably come up with another one, but Fus Roda is the one that just pushes things. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Dragonborn.
Okay.
Do you know? Here's a trivia question for you. What's the dragon language word for Dragonborn?
Dovahkiin.
Nice. Which means Dova is dragon.
Yeah.
Keen is born.
Sure.
It's a little Skyrim trivia for you.
Shout out to my buddy and one of my Twitch mods, Dova, which makes it very easy for me to remember that.
That's cheating.
That's how I remember it, but I did know it was Dovahkiin because I could just hear the Dovahkiin, Dovahkiin, da 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 da.
What a song! I could do the whole hymn of the Dragonborn if we really wanted to lyrically, but I'm not gonna. Now there's another character that I'm like, this is another one that deserves a spot. But have I already occupied that spot in a way with another character?
Yeah.
They would play very differently. This character obviously would have their own play style. Oh, and has appeared in, a couple of high-profile fighting games. Actually, more than that, now that I think about it. So I'm not going to do it, at least not yet.
Okay.
And there's, one that I think this is...
Sorry, go ahead.
I think this is the most iconic character from their game.
Okay.
Introduces some interesting moves and sort of powers. Tracer is where I'm going to go. I think Tracer... I was
thinking Overwatch earlier. I was like, I don't know if I want anything from that.
I was trying to get some diversity because I've started listing characters like these are all guys so far. I want to mix it up, and I thought I was like I got to get Lara, but then I was like, who else? I was like, well, first I was like Mercy, and I was like, no,
Mercy wouldn't really work.
But then I was like Tracer with like this sort of warping in and out. Would be a really good get. So Tracer is going to be my next.
Be a very
pick.
fast character.
Exactly. So I'm at 9 now.
So it's back to me.
Yep.
Okay, my first pick, just because I think the moveset would be so interesting, I'm going with Lars from Guitar Hero.
I was thinking about doing a Guitar Hero character.
I thought about doing the Brutal Legend guy.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I just love the idea of at some point in a game forcing the player to like try to sync buttons like Guitar Hero, and if they miss, they take damage. That just seems so funny to me. And then just like all the guitar attacks would be really fun. My next one, this one's so stupid, but it's great. My next one is the Goose from Untitled Goose Game. Just give me the Goose.
Like I was just like, just to jog my memory. I was like, just Google iconic video game characters, and there's something like and it was on there, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And then you did it.
I did the same thing, and I was like, that's too funny to just have this serious, like, imagine Kratos fighting the Goose, and he's just, he's just honking at him and just, like, pulling different items and stuff. I just think that's really funny.
Shoot, man. Oh no.
Oh no, what's up?
Do I go for the cash grab?
Oh, okay.
Do I do it? I don't know if I do it. But then there's one. It's weird because I have several picks on here that are already in Smash.
Yeah.
And
I've been trying to avoid
me too.
Anybody in a fighting game.
Like, I really want to do Sonic, but I'm not gonna. I don't think.
Yeah, I was like, I want to do Sub-Zero. And then I was like, well,
yeah,
I don't need him.
Crap. The route that I was just thinking, and see, now that I think I've sort of talked myself into it, I'm going to go with Jones from Fortnite.
Oh.
Basically the default blonde. He's Agent Jones in one of the more recent seasons, but
yeah.
Just the pickaxe and the building stuff, and you can drink a potion, blah blah blah, and it's freaking Fortnite. Like,
yeah,
you put a Fortnite character in, you put your character in Fortnite, you make money. You put your Fortnite in your other game, you probably make money.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So let's see.
So this is your 11th pick?
Jones, yes.
Oh, okay. I think I have mine. I think.
Is there another?
Wait, what was it? Oh, right. Is that too similar, though? That's the thing. How much overlap do I want?
Yeah, because... Also, I realized that on my targets, I put Gerald of Rivia instead of Geralt.
The homie. Shout out to Gerald of the River.
Is that what it means?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Or I think Rivia is a city on the river.
Gotcha. Oh, God. Oh, what? Ooh, oh.
We should do more of these. This is fun.
Yeah. Well, that's what we've got. There's plenty of mock drafts.
Yes, yeah, we can
that
just,
are out there to do, and we will do more as actual football season approaches. I'm sure,
and then we'll launch our fantasy football podcast.
Exactly.
We're just gonna have like 15 podcasts by the time the year's over.
Okay, this is what I got it. I was gonna go with a Pokemon. Mm-hmm. Pikachu, too easy.
Yeah.
Mewtwo, cool.
Yeah.
But also has been in Smash.
Sure.
But then I thought, Jay, zoom out a little bit in your mind.
Okay.
Why do a Pokemon?
Right.
When you can do a Pokemon trainer.
Sure.
But why do the generic Pokemon trainer?
I had this exact thought.
When you can do Ash.
Yep.
But why do Ash when you can do Yugi?
Oh.
I was going to say Gary.
Oh, I thought you were going to go Yugi.
No, Gary, man.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to jump on it. I was going to be hype.
Gary's cool.
Oh, you're going to do Gary Oak?
Oh, he is Oak, right?
Gary motherfucking Oak.
He looks cool. He's got the hair.
He does look cool. So you're going to have Gary and not Ash?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I like it.
I mean, I got freaking Tony Hawk in this game. And Gary's got his Blastoise, and I don't know. Yeah, I think Gary's cooler looking. And just for the sake of this, especially, no, you know what? I'm doing Gary because in the modern Pokemon animes, they make Ash look all weird. Look like a little baby. Screw that. Gary.
Okay. These are my last picks, correct?
Yeah, you got 2 more, and I got 1 more.
All right. My 11th pick is going to be Madeline from Celeste.
Ah.
I feel like her moveset, specifically her movement, would be really fun. It's sort of doing the Tracer thing for me, right? It was like a really fast, all over the screen kind of character. Now, I would keep her 2D. I want to keep her as like a sprite.
Gotcha.
And then you can pull in like the alternate version of Madeline and all the different things you can get in that game. That makes a lot of sense to me. Now I'm torn.
I'm going to go home and buy Celeste today.
Hell yeah, it's a great game. Legitimately awesome.
I've been sitting there. That's the one. I should buy that. Okay.
Is it on sale?
No.
You should wait for it to be on sale.
Okay.
It goes on sale a lot.
I'm not going to buy it today.
I mean, it's worth it if you want to play it, but it's great. My last... I'm going to look at my roster again, just to remind everybody at home and myself. My roster right now is Kratos, Master Chief, Shovel Knight, Juan from Guacamelee, Shell from Portal, Ellie, Stretch, Sackboy, Lars, Goose. I just wrote Goose. Madeline from Celeste. And I think for my last pick... Oh, man, I think both of these would work really well. I'm gonna go.
He's thinking about it.
I really am. Yeah, I'm gonna, just because I think the gameplay makes more sense, I'm gonna go Marcus from Watch Dogs 2.
Oh. At first I thought you were going Marcus from Gears of War.
No.
Okay.
So I was between, to open the books up, I was between him and Cassandra from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And I think with Kratos, my gameplay would be pretty similar with Cassandra. And so I went with Marcus just because I think all of the cool tech you could pull in as different attacks just makes a lot of sense. And I really think Marcus is a dope-ass character. So that is my 12th pick.
Oh, man. And now I've got one more.
Your last pick.
I was thinking earlier, and I didn't put him on the list, but you've sort of just brought it back to the forefront of my mind. And now that I think about it, he's one of the most logical choices that I could make.
Okay.
But do I?
So remind everyone of your roster so far.
So far, Spider-Man, Agent 47,
Yep.
Tony Hawk, Link, Lara Croft, Gehrman, Vault Boy, the Dragonborn, Tracer, Jones from Fortnite, Gary from Pokemon.
Okay, right.
And I guess at this point I can just, pontificate openly.
Sure.
I was thinking about Ezio.
Yeah, I thought that might be what you were talking about.
And I love Ezio. Ezio, to me, is by far the most interesting of all the Assassin's Creed protagonists. Interesting moveset with the hidden blades. You can do a lot of cool stuff.
Very hand-to-hand.
Here are the rest of the people that are on my target list, though.
Yeah,
here's
go
who
for
I'm
it.
sort of the person that I was referencing that have I already occupied this sort of character idea with another one.
Yeah.
Is Batman.
Sure.
Like the Arkham Batman is like an easy, but I've already got Spider-Man. I don't want it to feel like Spider-Man versus Batman.
I thought about doing weirdly Scarecrow.
Ooh.
Because I was like, what's a character that I can mess with the scene a lot, like mentally?
Yeah.
And that makes most sense.
That's a good point. Obviously Sonic. Obviously Gerald.
Yeah, our homie, Gerald.
If this character wasn't already in... This sucks that this happened so recently. But if it wasn't already in Smash, I would have done it, which is Sephiroth. Just I think that's a cool character with a cool song.
Yeah, that's true. Can I tell you some of the other ones I thought of?
Of course you
just
can.
over the course. Big Daddy, I thought of.
From BioShock?
Okay, already in PlayStation All-Stars, though, so that doesn't really help. There was another one I thought of that... Oh, like Crash or Spyro. I thought about doing either of them, but...
We didn't bring up Doom Guy.
Yeah, because we did Master Chief.
Yeah.
You kind of only need one. Clippy? No, I'm just kidding.
And my last pick, and this is the one that I was really juggling with, is Vaz from Far Cry.
That's interesting.
He's oddly iconic.
Yeah.
Definitely the face of Far Cry as a series.
Sure. Oh yeah.
And not tied to any console. I'm not, I've not overstepped my,
We both went
loyalty.
Yubi at the end. Yeah.
Man.
Oh, so that's not your pick. That's just somebody you're throwing out there.
It's between Vaz and Ezio in my head.
I think Vaz is cooler. I think Ezio makes more sense in the selling copies thing.
Exactly. Does Ezio really sell any more copies when you've already got Spider-Man?
No, not really, no.
I'm going Vaz just because I think Vaz, I like it. And it's like Vaz, you can do some stealthy, crafty type stuff and underhanded villainy. Because do I have a villain on here? Gehrman, but he's only kind of
I don't know that I picked a villain.
Yeah, Vaz, because he's going to be my token villain.
Yeah, I didn't. All right. Well, there are rosters.
Were you thinking of anything? You got your whole list.
Nathan Drake came up in my head.
Obvious.
But you said Lara, and that kind of covers that.
See, one of my initial thoughts was going to be I was going to go back to our love of wrestling days, and I'm going to make the dream match fighting game.
Yeah.
Drake versus Lara Croft.
Right.
Kratos versus Master Chief. All of these icon versus icon matches.
Yeah, that's cool. That would have been cool. Mario versus Sonic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea.
But then you end up with Mario versus Master Chief, and that's kind of weird.
That's true. Okay, do you want to hear my fighting game roster?
I'm interested in your philosophy.
So I thought we were just going to kind of come to this and say, all right, if you could make a fighting game, what are you making? So here are, and I was pulling a lot more from movies than I was video games.
Okay.
So here are my three rosters. The first theme is an all-girls roster.
Sure.
So we have Ellie, Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie.
Ooh.
Harley Quinn, Samus, who I thought about putting in as well, but smash. Storm, Ripley from Alien, Katniss Everdeen, Lara, the bride from Kill Bill, Furiosa, Leia, X-23,
Nice.
Trinity, Sarah Connor, and Michonne. So that is my sort of all-women roster.
Okay.
The next one, the horror game roster.
Ooh.
Jason, Freddy, Leatherface, Billy from Jigsaw, the puppet,
Uh-huh.
because I thought that would be really interesting. Ash from Evil Dead, 11,
Nice.
not the Demogorgon. The mom from A Quiet Place, Joel. Mr. X from Resident Evil. The Terminator from the first one. Because if you haven't watched the first Terminator recently, he is totally it's a horror movie.
It's a slasher film, but futuristic.
But sci-fi, yeah. Did you know that came from a fever dream James Cameron had?
Sure didn't.
He thought a robot was chasing him in his dream, and he was like, all right, I'm going to make the Terminator. My favorite idea for any game add-on I've ever had, and I want to incorporate it in this, I want It Follows to be a character in Dead by Daylight. And the way it would work is it looks like your other survivors. So in that game, it's all about working with your teammates, and then if it was the It Follows demon, it would just look like your teammates, and you never know where it would be paranoia. It would be really fun.
Wouldn't that break the game though?
Not really, because there could be a visual tell or maybe a sonic tell or something that makes you go, oh, that's not my teammate. That is, or why are there two whoever's?
I guess I don't know so they're. We can get in it. Continue, and then I'm going to ask you some questions.
Sure. So in this case, the It Follows character would look like almost like a Kirby or that kind of thing. The Babadook, the girl from The Ring, whose name I don't know, but creepy ass girl. The fucked up family from Us.
Ugh, yeah.
Pennywise, Hannibal Lecter, Jack Torrance from The Shining, Ghostface, Alien, Predator, Frankenstein's monster, the Candyman, the Jeepers Creepers guy, Dracula, Coraline, and Travis from Taxi Driver.
Taxi Driver is a horror movie?
Kind of. Not really.
Never seen it.
It'd be like putting I'll get to this person in a minute.
Okay.
But he could also go in my third roster, which is the Dude Movies roster.
Okay.
These are movies that dudes like.
Oh,
and they're all characters. So, Patrick Bateman. Hell
yeah, man.
Jordan Belfort.
Yeah.
Vincent Vega, Jules. Michael Corleone. Henry Hill from Goodfellas. John McClane from Die Hard. Godzilla. King Kong. Rocky.
Patrick Bateman versus Godzilla that's a fever dream that I want to have.
William Wallace. James Bond. Michael Jordan.
Yeah, baby.
Dirty Harry, Yojimbo, the main guy from Yojimbo. Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump versus Patrick Bateman.
Versus Godzilla.
In a triple threat match.
Tyler Durden, Tony Montana.
Hold on, who's Tyler Durden?
Brad Pitt Fight Club.
Got it.
The Blues Brothers. Deckard from Blade Runner. The Driver from Drive. He doesn't have a name. Rambo. RoboCop. B.A. Baracus.
Nice.
Indiana Jones. Gandalf. Neo. And Bruce Lee. Those are my rosters.
I like where your head's at.
So what were your questions about?
Dead by Daylight.
Yes.
So you're saying that you would like the It Follows demon or whatever to be a character.
Sure.
A killer.
Yes.
Do the killers have an inherent advantage that would be the It Follows demon's inherent advantage would be it looks like one of your other players.
Sure.
Do the other killers have advantages that sort of would be on that level?
Yes. Yeah. So there's oh God, what is his actual name? There's a character whose name I can't remember that literally everyone calls Bing Bong. Because his thing is he goes invisible, but in order to come out of being invisible, he dings a bell. It's like bing bing, and then he's visible again.
Gotcha.
So there are a lot of the pig from Saw. She can creep and go invisible when she's stealthy, but then she has to jump up to attack you. Also, no matter what in the game, unless there's specific killers that have perks that don't do this, whenever a killer is near you, you have a heartbeat. And it gets louder the closer they are. So that could be a way the It Follows thing just naturally kind of works.
Movie's horrifying.
Oh, it's so good. It's one of my favorite horror movies of the last 10 years. I love it.
Well, that was fun.
It was very fun.
Tanner, do you have a recommendation for this week?
No, but let me think about it.
Okay.
Do you have one?
I do.
Okay.
And, I'm not going to give this the most full-throated recommendation, but we talked a little bit about Black Widow last week. Loki just wrapped up. I'm in the MCU mood. I'm feeling the vibes. It's coming back.
Yeah.
COVID, if you're not getting the Delta variant, is mostly over if you're vaccinated.
Please get vaccinated.
Absolutely.
Everyone get vaccinated.
So
Follow your local laws.
I'm in the Marvel mood.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give a soft recommendation.
Okay. Our favorite kind.
The Avengers. And only the story mode.
Right. Okay.
I didn't dive deep into any of sort of the ancillary multiplayer and extra missions and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But the story mode in Avengers is really good. I have to admit, it is very good. And we're getting Miss Marvel is going to be in the MCU relatively soon. That's a great introduction to that character of Kamala Khan. She's great in that game. But it's really just a pretty fun, third-person action brawlery kind of game. All the characters have a pretty different movesets that make them fun to play as.
Yeah.
Story has some cool plot twists, has a lot of interesting, Easter eggs to the greater Marvel lore. So if you needing the Marvel itch scratched, first of all, watch Loki. Second of all, play the Avengers, but maybe don't pay a lot for it. Because if you're
it's on PlayStation Now right now.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It is.
For a little bit. I don't know how long.
And the Black Panther expansion's coming up pretty soon.
Yep.
So I'm sort of doing my part to say, hey, maybe if people get into this and critique it in certain ways that I don't have to and make it better, then I can get in later. So I'm kind of enlisting people to do my dirty work for improving this game.
Sure. So my recommend, I think, is, and we're at the point now where I don't know if I've recommended things before. So if I've recommended this already, my apologies, but I'm going to recommend Civ 6.
I'm almost positive you have not.
Okay. So, the thing about Civ 6 is it's a game that I'm going to start a Civ 6 game soon. Sure. I've had the itch for it. And I think the problem with Civ 6 to me originally was that it was following up one of the greatest games of all time in Civ 5. I think I've played Civ since I was a kid. Civ 5 was easily the best version of that game, and you could argue still is. But Civ 6 made a lot of changes that were interesting, and when they first started, I was like, I don't know if I like this. Specifically, I still think I like the graphics of Civ 5 more, because with Civ 6, they went for more, not cartoony, but less realistic graphics, if that makes sense. Looking more like Fortnite than PUBG, if that makes sense. But the game itself is rock solid, and it's something I considered buying the DLC for, but I don't play it enough to really need the DLC yet, but hundreds of hours await you if you want to pick up a great game in Civ 6. And I know that the sort of deluxe edition right now is available for sale on Steam. And the reason I thought of it, one of the most exciting games to play portably on the Steam Deck would be Civ, because it has touch controls, so you could just direct your little guys wherever you want them. I think it'll be awesome to play Civ on the go.
Interesting. I just thought of it. I'm going to give an anti-recommendation.
All right.
Because you said Civ, that made me think of strategy games. When I think of strategy games, unfortunately, I think of these stupid ads.
Oh my God.
That I've been getting.
Me too.
For these people, and it's the people that are it's sort of like a Twitch streamer, they're in the corner. Yep. And they're monologuing what they're doing.
Ads.
And it's ooh, I'm going to go fight these little guys.
It's like divide and conquer, right?
Take them from my island, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I got to get away. Oh, almost lost it there, you know? And then they arrive at the big calamitous battle at the end or whatever that's not even very climactic.
It's funny, you've gotten them too.
If you are a person out there listening to this podcast and you are either, you know what, I'm not even going to put this on the developers. If you work in the marketing side of this game and you ever introduce yourself to me, you better not tell me that's what you do for a living, because you'll probably get punched in the face. These ads are so intrusive and dumb, and I will never download one of these games.
Oh my God. Ever. Yeah, me neither.
There's so many better strategy games out there, and I hate strategy games.
I was going to say, you don't play those.
So, you think that putting your 15-second must-watch ad in front of me watching an episode of Good Mythical Morning or something is going to make me download your game? No.
Wow, that was an impassioned plea at the end of the episode.
It really was. I care more about that. Screw playing Avengers. If you can donate $5 to a GoFundMe of ending these ads, That's a better use of your time, honestly.
Oh my god. Yeah, those ads are annoying. Because you're right, they do treat it like a Let's Play or a Twitch stream. And the one I get the one.
Oh, the acting's so bad.
It's so bad.
It's awful.
I get the one that's like it's blue and there's like ships. And it's like one guy versus two ships.
Is it a bald guy with a beard?
Yes.
Yep.
And the thing that bugs me so much.
Small mistake.
The thing that bugs me so much is when he's like, I'm going to take this boat. Divide and conquer, right, guys? And it's like, who are you talking to? Who are the guys? There is no chat. Like, what the fuck's going on? It's so annoying.
It's so awful.
I hate it.
Yeah. We should just make it our life's mission with this podcast to end those games.
Just to stop those ads.
Something.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was fun. I'm glad. I love getting a little heated moment out. We'll do some more mock drafts in the future.
Yeah, that was fun.
But until then, Tanner, I'm hungry.
Yeah, me too.
So we're tapping out.